Thank you for joining me today for this webinar on modern customer engagement and productivity strategies using Microsoft tools. Today I kind of want to go into, first up we're going to start off with some customer expectations, looking at what today's customer journey looks like, and that kind of has the overarching theme of today's webinar, because the discussion is really around how can the tools from Microsoft in transforming the experience for your end users and becoming more collaborative enable these experiences that today's customers expect. So we're going to start off with that in the agenda today. Then we're going to go into transforming user experiences in the workplace using Office 365 and a newer tool in Office 365 called Teams. Then we're going to look at how you can focus your sales reps on the most high priority leads and opportunities using the Dynamics 365 tools from Microsoft, as well as how you can empower marketing, enable your customer service teams, and ultimately maximize the productivity of those teams with seamless integration to Office 365. So my name is Brad Vorbeck. I work in marketing here at Turnkey Technologies. I've been working here for about 6 years. We were founded in 1994 as a Microsoft Dynamics partner. We were originally focused on Great Plains, actually before it was acquired by Microsoft, and then ever since then have adapted into a full Microsoft Dynamics 365 organization, which includes Office 365 as well and Power BI services. We've got a large practice team of over 50 certified professionals who help our clients basically maximize the full use of their Microsoft solutions, whether that be Microsoft Dynamics 365 or Office 365. And essentially that's what our practice consists of, is helping you implement the solution, adapt it to your organizational needs, and make sure that you're reaching a clear ROI with those. So as I mentioned, we're headquartered in St. Louis, but we have 3 offices. We have one in Chicago and a third office in Denver. And our services are comprehensive regarding the solutions we provide, which means we do everything from requirements planning to visioning sessions to full service implementation, as well as configuration, customization, and enhancement services as well, and ongoing support and training. So let's dive right in here. The first thing I want to talk about is the customer journey. I think a lot of people are familiar with this. It's not news to anybody that customer experience has changed dramatically in the last decade, but really over the last 2 decades, and a lot of it's gone digital and online. So marketers now own a large part of the sales process as customers go online to find out about products and services. And then once they've done their research and pretty much done everything independently as far as they can, if necessary, they'll reach out to your company. But we're in an age where customers expect self-service, they expect independence, and they expect an online presence and to be able to find your organization where they expect. And so in an age where nearly any product or service can be commoditized, companies are looking to differentiate their customer experience in these areas. So what do some of these new customer expectations look like? Personalized offers. Whether it's something they purchased from you online or from your business, or something that they spent time reading about on your website, your customers expect ongoing interactions to be tailored to their interests. They expect self-service capabilities, so whether that's finding support on their own or through a knowledge base or ordering from your company from an online portal, they really expect the ability to get what they need independently without the help from a sales or service rep. Mobile experiences are also the norm for many customers today, and depending on your industry, it's actually could even be a requirement to have mobile availability, and as far as things go, like an app or the ability to interact with your business online in a rich manner. And then obviously there's the online presence of your company. In today's world, if you can't be found online, you're practically invisible to most customers. And they're expecting to be able to find you and learn nearly everything they need to know about your product without having to dig too far into it and do too much work. So a lot of these norms have been driven by large companies, and at least early on, that deeply understood their customers and embraced their technology strategies to focus them around their customers. And as the cost of those resources to embrace these strategies has gone down thanks to things like the cloud and the maturity of the internet, that same expectation now carries over to small and mid-sized businesses as well. As customers do more and more business with digital savvy technologies, the gap between non-tech centric companies and tech centric companies is widening quite a bit, and it's becoming more and more obvious. So I like to say you don't need to be as good as Amazon or Apple at creating amazing customer experiences to compete in this arena. You just need to start small, find what makes sense for your business and for your customers, and design efficient, personalized experiences around those needs. So today's webinar is mainly focused about how your organization can enable these experiences by adopting the right tools for your workforce. So the first thing I want to talk about is transforming the foundational user experience of your workforce with the tools in Office 365. I think this will resonate with a lot of folks out there, and I'm sure a lot of you have already begun this process, especially if you have Office 365. Some of these things are likely already in place in your organization, but perhaps not all of them. I think every business kind of lands on a spectrum with how far they've gone into the tools in Office 365. So just like how the workplace transformed from fax and snail mail to email in the 90s, we're experiencing an accelerating evolution of the workplace that's fueled by the internet and new collaboration tools. For example, while email and phone are still popular, many businesses are now using instant message, video conferencing and internal chat forums, and the information is now flowing through your organizations much faster that way. Another example I have up here is the change from sending attachments back and forth and sharing documents in a sending documents back and forth to sharing documents in a central cloud storage location. Employees are no longer digging through their inbox to find documents or wondering if they're looking at the most up-to-date document version, which brings me to the next example is version confusion. So rather than sending and editing documents and sending them back and forth and getting lost in what version is what, teams are now co-editing shared documents at the same time from different devices and locations, all on the same shared location in the cloud. Furthermore, they can see and track each other's changes in real time. So it's actually like you're working with somebody right next to you on a whiteboard, and you can actually see the changes they're making happen in front of you. And then there's a more obvious example of employees being chained, for lack of a better term, to their office or their desk versus being able to access their work as needed from anywhere on nearly any device, and even having the same experience across all those devices. And again, every business lands on a spectrum for how far they've gone with these. So if you've adopted some tools, that's great. It's a great start, such as Skype for Business and SharePoint. And they lead very nicely into the deeper collaboration tools that are now available in Office 365, such as Teams. So I want to talk about Teams. I think this is a very important aspect of how organizations use Office 365. And what it does is it creates structure around your use of the tools. So one thing that's important to realize with Office 365 is that it's not just cloud-based versions of Office apps. In fact, it includes a few tools that allow your employees to collaborate in a shared and more cohesive manner. And Teams is really one of the leading tools here, and I think Microsoft is putting a lot of weight behind it, where it's one central platform for everybody to collaborate and get things done in a shared manner. So Teams includes all the communication capabilities of Skype for Business, and it enables users to communicate and collaborate more frequently, as well as switch among apps seamlessly in Office 365, or rather not even have to switch between apps and access those right in Teams where you're working and use them in context of your Teams environment. Your teams can communicate in the moment with Teams chats and team meetings. Ongoing conversations can help move teams forward with persistent context and background. So like I said, how people or teams are kind of using chat forums now to communicate. That ongoing thread gives great context into the group conversation overall and how it's sort of played out with that project or with that team. Employees get built-in access to Office 365 apps to collaborate and co-edit documents, as well as see presence information without leaving the team's workspace. And they can even create and share tasks, which then automatically populate your shared Teams calendar, and everybody can have a real-time understanding of their progress toward their shared goals. And users can tailor their workspaces to include apps and services in their Teams environment for whatever suits their needs. There's a lot of integrations available for that. And it does all this while providing the enterprise level and security and compliance features that IT departments expect from Office 365. So I just wanted to show this screenshot of Teams really quick. This is kind of what the overall platform looks like. You can see on your left-hand side, you've got the Teams icon, which shows you what channels you're part of. And within those channels, you've got your conversation tab, which is sort of like your communication thread. But then you can see there's a files tab where you can store documents, as well as write down notes that are maybe less structured for the communications tab, plan your tasks, and add those to the shared calendar in the planner tab there. And then by that plus tab, you see you can add other services and features in here to this Teams page that your team might be utilizing. So within this context, you can add documents here and files, whether that be Word or Excel, and you can actually create them and edit them right within the Teams platform without even leaving this area. So I want to go into how we can focus sales to basically reduce the clutter in their life and sort of filter out the best prospects to be pursuing. And there's a number of features in Dynamics 365 that enable this. So I'm sure many people here are familiar with the concept of CRM. So in addition to adopting Office 365 for productivity, your organization can transform its sales operations by adopting Microsoft Dynamics 365 for sales. In addition to comprehensive CRM capabilities like lead management and pipeline forecasting, Dynamics 365 enables your reps to sell smarter while doing less data entry, and it has features like embedded AI, integration with LinkedIn, seamless integration with Office 365, as well as Outlook. So here's some of the standard features you'll see in Microsoft Dynamics 365 for sales, are some of the capabilities that it provides. Of course, this isn't an exhaustive list, but just some of the high-level features of Dynamics 365 for sales there. One of the features in Dynamics 365 for sales that really helps sales reps do less data entry and less switching between Outlook and CRM is the email engagement feature. This allows sales reps to create and send emails right from CRM, as well as track the results. So you can track the opens, clicks, reminders, and alerts, so sellers can be more proactive and responsive in their email communications. And this kind of goes back to what customers expect in today's buying environment, which is pretty much instant and excellent communication from sellers. One of my favorite features about email engagement that I want to point out is the auto capture feature, which is optional. When this is turned on, it can automatically capture emails from your Outlook inbox and display them only for your visibility in your CRM system alongside the record that it involves. So in the email activity feed on a lead record, say you sent an email in your Outlook that you didn't intentionally track in CRM, well, CRM can recognize that you sent it to their record or their email address and show that email in the CRM activity feed and give you the option to add it in there and track it, or to leave it completely outside of the system. So even for email communications that you may have forgotten to track, the auto capture feature enables you to track those automatically just by recognizing that it was sent to that lead record in CRM. And then the seamless integration with Outlook is a great feature for sales reps, especially if you're doing a bunch of email communications and you don't want to do them from CRM, or you don't want to switch back and forth between Outlook and CRM. You can actually track emails against CRM records, in Outlook you can create an email and track it against a CRM record without ever even leaving Outlook. So basically you just type in the email address and then you hit the Dynamics 365 add-on button, and as you can see there, the panel on the right gives you the option to add a record from the CRM system to track it against. And then once you choose that and send the email, you can go into CRM, into that record, and see that it's actually tracked there in the activity email feed. Another great feature about this is the ability to get AI from Outlook, or right within Outlook, with helpful reminders and recommendations for things that you might have missed. For example, it can recognize phrases that might indicate that you need to respond to a customer question, or perhaps meant to send a meeting invite but never did. It has intelligent reminders like that that can kind of keep you on track that may slip through the cracks throughout your day. So a little bit deeper into AI for sales, because of the fact that sellers have to juggle so many opportunities, and within those opportunities, especially in the B2B industry, numerous stakeholders, tailoring your interactions can become difficult, and keeping track with everything can become challenging. So Dynamics 365 provides a holistic view of the customer's interaction history, so sellers have the context and knowledge to personalize every interaction they have with the buyers. And then to prevent distractions, organizations can narrow down optimal choices for sellers with guidance toward optimal outcomes. Directly inside the sales records they're working on, sellers can see specific steps needed to move the deal forward, as well as intelligent recommendations from the AI that's embedded and built right into the solution itself, which we'll go into in the next slide here. So for sales, AI tends to, in practice, appear in the form of action cards. So you have what's called the relationship assistant, and there's a slot on that record that an action card can show up on and give you an intelligent reminder or alert or insight about that record based on different cues. So those cards can be base cards, which include things like a close date coming soon, a customer activity that might be due today, an email that you might have scheduled that's due today, or a meeting. There are also email cards from Exchange, and these are actually pretty neat. As I said, this is where the system actually can scan your Exchange inbox in Outlook and actually find keywords that might lend themselves to some insight for you, such as a competitor mentioned in an email, or it can even go as far as recognize new lead upsell opportunities or cross-sell opportunities, and even analyze sentiment in the email based on the words they're using that can let you know if that opportunity might be at risk or perhaps hasn't been reached out to soon enough. What else? There's relationship analytics cards. Those provide reminders when it looks like nobody has touched a certain record in some time. And then you also have things like productivity cards that can even let you know if you're driving by a nearby customer's location, relevant news about that customer, upcoming meetings that you have with that customer, and even stock updates about that customer right where you're working, whether it be on your phone or your desktop or your laptop. Another handy tool with Dynamics 365 for sales is the LinkedIn integration. That allows sales reps to spend much less time entering data and actually prospecting around around LinkedIn by integrating CRM with the 500 million plus profiles that are on LinkedIn and reducing that data entry for sales. So a lot of that data can be brought right into the CRM system, and it also incorporates the intelligence of the LinkedIn social graph to make recommendations on who might be able to give you a warm introduction or who they might be connected to that could assist you further in the sales process in ways that you can reach out to them. Sharing data with sales. So by having sales and customers both benefit directly from Dynamics 365, but they gain additional benefits when customer service and marketing adopt the solution as well. So some examples of that would be customer service data being used to identify weaknesses or product weaknesses and strategizing around those. Customer service data being used to cross-sell and upsell by sales reps. Marketing data, so sales reps can utilize things like web content that's been downloaded, web pages visited, event registrations, and surveys collected to tailor their conversation to their prospects. as well as things like using marketing-approved email templates to ensure brand consistency in their communications. And then one of the major things here is prospecting based on lead scoring. And we're going to discuss that here shortly in the next couple slides, going deeper into lead scoring. So empowering marketing, there's a solution in Dynamics 365 called Dynamics 365 for Marketing. And this allows marketers to basically run comprehensive multi-channel campaigns and track the results of those campaigns. They gain the ability to generate inbound leads with lead forms and automated email nurture campaigns, as well as test and track the results of those emails with A/B testing. They get integrated event management that ties into the records themselves, so you can track the event responses from your leads. LinkedIn lead generation forms, so if you run ads on LinkedIn or anything like that, you can actually integrate the lead generation forms directly into CRM and have those import when somebody submits. And a huge and perhaps, in my opinion, one of the most important features of Dynamics 365 for marketing is the ability to implement lead scoring, like I said, which I want to cover here. So traditionally, in many organizations, there's sort of a fundamental disconnect between sales and marketing. That disconnect stems from poor quality of leads and no visibility about sales conversion, different understandings and definitions of what is a qualified lead, inconsistent views of leads and customer activity due to non-integrated technology, such as a separate events platform or a survey platform where that information does not flow into the records that sales reps are looking at. A lack of shared understanding of the buyer's journey, so what content or activities actually indicate that a lead is ready to buy. Conflicting or misaligned performance objectives, conflict over who sourced the lead and how teams are incented based on that, and the degree of control over the brand and content customization. So these are just some barriers that limit marketing effectiveness and they disrupt sales. And by overcoming these, you can greatly improve the results of both those departments. And that's where lead scoring comes in here. So lead scoring is basically one of the best ways to focus your sales reps on the highest priority leads that are out there so that they don't have to spend as much time surfing the web or their own sources doing cold prospecting. Using an integrated solution like Dynamics 365 for marketing, you can attach scores to your leads based on the activities they complete. This is particularly good for things like inbound leads and lead nurturing, as it creates an objective, quantitative way to measure a lead's quality based on digital activity. So the way lead scoring works is a lead model is created, which means sales and marketing sit down and weigh the value of actions that can be taken by leads. And this could be anything from content downloads to time spent on certain web pages to event participations or what have you. And so by doing this, you create a scoring model that then builds up on these leads, and you decide on a threshold that acts as a handoff point where they say, okay, this person has downloaded this piece of content and taken these 3 steps. Their lead score is now 100. Sales, please take over and reach out to them and try to close this deal. So it shortens the prospecting time for sales. It improves the quality of marketing leads that are handed to sales. And best of all, since the scoring model is mutually agreed upon between sales and marketing, it ensures that everybody's winning when those leads are handed off. So other ways that marketing benefits from other departments, from sales and customer service using Dynamics 365 as well, would be examples like using sales prospecting data to further dynamically segment their marketing lists. So if a sales rep is collecting things like revenue or industry information or address information as they're doing their sales prospecting, marketing can then utilize that data to further segment their targeting. Using sales process analytics to understand the buying process and understanding at what stage they're most likely to actually close and how you can deliver more content to support that buying stage. Similar to that would be using customer service data to identify content that needs to be put out there to proactively answer questions or frequently asked questions. analyzing top performing web pages to inform your event and offer strategies and marketing, and as well as looking at sales trends over the year to identify those with market trends and seasonal demand and craft your campaigns accordingly. So enabling customer service teams. Same thing with Dynamics 365 for sales and marketing. In the context of customer service, however, it provides all the tools to enable your service agents to deliver fast, efficient experiences that would otherwise not be possible. And by sales and marketing using their respective components of Dynamics 365, they gain additional benefits to that as well, which we'll talk about here shortly. So by providing the tools to create self-service communities, omnichannel communications, and resolution guidance, your service agents can wow your customers with every interaction and really deliver that modern, impressive experience that builds confidence in your brand. So one of the features I want to talk about is agent enablement. Your agents need to be empowered with a single unified experience to deliver fast, quality customer service. And with Dynamics 365, they can access every information source they need all in one environment. It's role-driven so that everything is served up contextually for that role and provides the guidance and data that they need. And it reduces agent effort by providing an application that can handle all the service interactions in a single place. It also enables intelligent case management, allowing reps to manage cases faster and provide different levels of support with an integrated knowledge base, SLA, scripting, workflows, entitlement information, and intelligent recommendations. Finally, it's collaborative and allows agents to harness the knowledge of their peers with Yammer and Skype, as well as speed up the resolution for the most challenging issues by getting them in touch with subject matter experts within your organization or knowledge base articles that they may have provided in a timely manner. Self-service communities, that's another area of customer service that is very important these days. Dynamics 365 for customer service enables you to brand your self-service communities and create portals that provide answers to frequently asked questions, tutorials, training, and things like that, different resources that can essentially build your communities up and help your customers be more independent. It provides omni-channel communications, so whether you're talking across web, social, chat, email, mobile, or phone, Dynamics 365 for customer service provides these communications options in context with where you're working and with minimal effort so that you can engage with your customers on their platform of their choice. We're running out of time here, so I'm going to try to speed things up just a little bit. I have another section I do want to cover before we wrap up. So the knowledge base in Dynamics 365 for customer service is an integrated knowledge base that allows you to publish articles and even rich media such as videos, tutorials, and images that allow you to basically access resolution to different customer problems. So frequently asked questions or different problems that customers have with your product, you can build a knowledge base to help get those answered and then surface those as needed for the customer service agents to close cases faster. Skip this slide really quick, but again, it comes back to using other departments' CRM data to maximize the success of customer service. Really quick, that would be things like using customer sales history to get a real-time understanding of your customers' products that they own when they're calling you. Using sales close triggers to introduce customer support, say with an automated email or onboarding process. Using the knowledge base for faster case resolution, and then even integrating with ERP to allow your customer service agents to perform actual refunds and work orders in real time. So last section I want to talk about is maximizing productivity with these tools' seamless integration to Office 365. The way to achieve sales productivity in the modern environment is not to give sellers more disconnected tools. Most sellers feel they already have too many disjointed tools. So what they need are solutions that work with tools that they're already comfortable and familiar with, such as Office 365. In this way, they can gain the new capabilities in Dynamics 365 without the burden and distractions that come with adding disconnected and completely proprietary tools. So you're not wasting so much time in training, ramping up, and reconciling data between different systems. So the Office 365 integration with Dynamics 365 allows sellers to streamline their workflows. It even lets you embed teams directly into Dynamics 365 for sales. So right where the sellers are working, they can collaborate on documents, communicate, use the chat functions, and essentially utilize any feature within Teams in context of that CRM record and store those CRM records there as well, such as SOWs or different project documents. Like I said, you can create and share sales documents right within Dynamics 365 by having Teams embedded. And it's available right there in your CRM. So sellers can collaborate and personalize sales documents with the embedded Office 365 tools that they're already familiar with without forcing them to leave the application, create it in the Office 365 tool, and then manually upload it somewhere. And of course, today's workers are on the go, and so modern sales tools need to support this contemporary mode of work. Dynamics 365 enables sellers to work anytime, anywhere, and with their mobile application across the web, smartphone, and tablet as well. So no matter where you are, whether it's in the field or in your office, you can stay fully productive. I just want to point out that Microsoft has been awarded as a leader in seller productivity by Forrester. They're in the leader ripple tied at the top for current offering, combined with a perfect score on product vision in the strategy section. And it's important to note that Microsoft leads all vendors in product vision as well. So they receive perfect scores in 6 different categories for this. In addition to the strong placement, the write-up puts an emphasis on Dynamics 365 strengths in productivity and intelligence, so that integration with Office 365 really does make a difference for organizations. And once you adopt that mentality and that strategy, it's amazing what kind of efficiencies you can gain from that. So just to kind of wrap things up, Dynamics 365 and Office 365 provide a seamless platform for modern productivity. The solutions are woven into each other so that you can access your Office 365 tools right in Dynamics 365 where you're working, and vice versa. And with your teams, you can basically utilize all the Office 365 applications available to you within the context of how you work with each other. So just some user adoption tips for transitioning to Teams in case your organization is considering that. One thing to do is ensure transparency. So involving your end users and keeping everyone up to date on why the change is happening and what the implications are and how the change will occur is extremely important in their adoption of the solution, because it essentially explains the end goal and why you're doing this in the first place. Otherwise, they're going to feel like they're sort of being forced into a solution for reasons they don't understand, but they may feel the change slows them down initially when they may not understand the actual benefits that they're going to be gaining in the long term. Empowering IT to control and manage the process, so controlling how Teams is rolled out, whether it's to a subset of users or to the entire organization, whether it's standalone or side-by-side with Skype for Business if you're already using that. You'll have the same tools you'll use today, like call quality dashboard and call analytics to manage your environment, but you can have that in Teams as well as Skype for Business. So end user transition with in-product features and helps. You can help your end users by providing first-run experiences for both Skype for Business and in Teams. And there's a new tool called T-Bot, which as more users onboard, it continues to learn and helps with troubleshooting and how-tos and sort of learns what people are looking for and what questions they're asking. So it's sort of a self-service bot assistant. And then, of course, you can get support through your partner. We can help you 100% through this transition without you losing any focus on your business. In fact, that's why we're here. We have the technical expertise to identify any roadblocks that may come up or really scope out the project accurately. And we have the focus to basically focus on this project while like I said, you can stay focused on running your business. So if this is something you're looking at, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be happy to help, at least discuss how this can benefit your organization or even show you a customized demo. So to learn more, I invite everybody to sign up for a 1-hour customer engagement assessment. It's a no obligation assessment with one of our consultants where you can quickly validate these solutions for your goals. Not every organization might be there as far as their mentality with digital transformation, but I think it's important for every organization to start thinking about this as maybe 5 or 10 years ago, a lot of this stuff was being talked about, but truly it's in place today and the customer expectations are there today. And in another few years, organizations that aren't looking at these things are going to be pretty far behind. So once you start looking at it now, start thinking about how you can start modernizing your workforce, especially for the new younger generations that are going to be coming in to utilize these tools. We can help you validate those goals, like I said, or those features for your long-term goals. Register there at turnkeytec.com/customer engagement assessment. And this has been recorded, so we will send this out to you in a follow-up email tomorrow, as well as the PowerPoint presentation. I realized this was fast, so I had to skip over a little bit of information to get it all through, and I apologize I wasn't able to provide a demo today, but if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You'll have my contact information in the follow-up email tomorrow, and I'd be happy to help answer any questions you might have, as well as get you in touch with a subject matter expert who can really dive deep on your goals. So I thank everybody for joining us today. That wraps up for the webinar. And again, keep an eye out for that follow-up email in your inbox, and I hope to talk to everybody soon. Thank you.